Don't call him the Weeknd. He's forever the artist formerly known as the Weeknd, at least until after he gets through this tour. And this movie is called Hurry Up Tomorrow. You might be saying to yourself, hurry up movie and end already. Or you might enjoy it. If you are a fan of Abel Tesfaye, as he wants to now be known, his real name, maybe you're reveling in every juicy, artsy moment of this.
You know, I'll tell you, Dave and I went to they had a fan event on Wednesday night for people who couldn't wait to see the movie because there was no press screening.
Right.
And presumed fans in the theater were laughing at this movie in the wrong places. So maybe even they aren't totally loving this. I know I wasn't.
You were hurting yourself, and you were hurting everyone around you. Something has to change.
So yes, Abel Tesfaye is playing himself in this movie, and you know he's living that rock star life. It's the drain of the tour, man. It's going to ruin the world tour. And it's it's drugs and it's women and it's his best friend Barry Keoghan whispering in his ear all the time and encouraging him to newer heights, but also to depths of self-destruction. Jenna Ortega is a devoted fan who is introduced in the film committing a crime, so we know she's probably going to be trouble. And when during a Weeknd concert, he's falling apart. He can barely keep it together. They lock eyes when he's on stage, and he runs off in the middle of the show, and she finds him backstage, and they have a whirlwind evening together, and then things go to a dark place. This movie, okay, on its surface, basically reads like not very good Valley of the Dolls that sort of turns into Misery Junior. But if you want to give it the sort of, more complex reading that perhaps writer-director Trey Edward Shults, who did Krisha and Waves, is maybe thinking about, you could interpret it as Abel's battle with his own id and superego and guilt and whatnot that are manifested in these other characters. But no matter how you slice it, this movie is awful. It is pointless, and the camera is just constantly zipping about as though that meant something. And you better like the new song that they're pushing you in this film, because you're going to hear it 3 times in the film. 4 if you get the music video before the movie, which we did at the fan event. Yeah, it's a lot of nothing, this film, and it's kind of embarrassing in terms of just like if you're going to make a promotional film for your new album or for your musical career, whatever it is that Tesfaye is doing here. This ain't it. This is it is what the kids call cringe.
I think it's supposed to be his Purple Rain.
Oh no. No.
I think it has that ambition. I'm not saying it achieves that. I think he's aiming for that.
Well, if there were like more segments of him like being on stage and killing it, then maybe. But that barely seems to be on the agenda here. This is about him not being able to perform and not being comfortable in his own skin and not being able to cope with fame. And so, believe me, if it were just like it's a concert film and then he tries to act a little in between those numbers, sure, fine, whatever.
Yeah.
But this has bigger ambitions and thus is a bigger embarrassment.
And also, I think it's very personal, because the thing with the voice, like, no longer working actually happened to him. And I believe the story sprung from that. So while it is cringe and he's not a good actor, and he's a better performer, I guess, than an actor. But as you say, we don't see a whole lot of that. It doesn't really work on any level. Yeah. So I like Krisha. I like this person's instincts ordinarily as an indie filmmaker. But that 360 camera movement, which he does in the kitchen at Krisha on Thanksgiving with the turkey falling out of the oven and all that chaos, like it's his go-to move. over and over and over again inside of cars. Oh, look, we're doing it in a car. We're doing it over and over again in the car. We're doing it fast in the car. And it is nauseating, actually. And the thing with the aspect ratios, let's talk about that, because it changes all the time in ways that at first seem to kind of make sense. Like when we first see it, it's very tight. It's an Academy ratio. It's on his eyes. And then it's following him in a tight way. And then it expands a little as we see him backstage, drinking water, warming up, lifting weight, getting pumped. And then it expands and gets wider and wider and wider as he's walking the corridor to get on stage. I'm like, okay, this makes sense. Because it's like, as he's coming into his own in full, as he's becoming the Weeknd, that makes sense. But then it just like changes all the time for no reason narratively that I could perceive. Did you?
No, it goes from having a sort of having a meaning to it and an interpretation to just like, well, we can do this. It's I don't know what anybody was thinking here, frankly, and Shults I think has made some interesting films. I thought Waves was good, and this one I don't know. I just kind of get the impression it was like, oh, cool! I get to hang out with this music guy for a while, and won't that be fun? But the results are. I mean, if you're a hardcore fan and you just want to see a movie about this performer, then I guess there's going to be that for you. And if you're a big Jenna Ortega fan, maybe I don't know.
There's so little to her, though. Like,
no, it's
she has no name in the movie itself, and she has a name in the credits that we see, which is very heavy with meaning. Yes, and I guess for a lot of people, the novelty of seeing him in this capacity is exciting enough because he had been for so long so notoriously elusive.
Well, he had that HBO show that was also not great.
He did. But like, I think prior to that, though, like he was this kind of anonymous presence on mixtapes. And that's why he didn't even go by his real name. And now I guess he's stepping into his own true persona, and so I guess that is a big deal if you are a big fan of his. But and there is some artistry here. So I was kind of with it for a little while, like all the stuff at the Biltmore. They shot a whole bunch of stuff at the Biltmore Hotel in downtown LA, where I had my prom in high school, where we have our annual LA Film Critics Dinner. It's a beautiful old hotel.
It pops up on Mad Men a lot, usually doubling for like other cities.
Right. It's totally haunted. Like it's in Bachelor Party. It's in many, many movies. Yeah. So like some of the use of like the isolation of this old place, I thought was kind of effective in terms of mood. Jenna Ortega, though, like there's nothing to her. She's just an idea. And as you say, it becomes a lot like Misery to such an extent that it very much pales by comparison and just like makes you want to watch Misery again instead of this. And then there is a long single take involving that song that is so self-indulgent toward the end.
Yeah.
But I like Barry Keoghan. Like Barry Keoghan shows up and has always got like an unpredictable presence about him. Like danger is afoot when Barry Keoghan shows up, right?
Well, I think if you're in a movie and Barry Keoghan is your best friend, look out. If we've learned anything from like Banshees of Inisherin or, Saltburn, like nothing, no good can come of this. But no, you're right. He definitely has a spark of unpredictability and of peril that the movie could certainly use more of.
All right, so I'm going to say like a 4.5 because it has some moments and it has some artistry. Eventually, yes, it is a totally shameless vanity project and it's laughable, but there are enough moments here or there that I didn't totally hate all of it.
I'm like a 2.5. I was mad at it by the end of it.
But they go to Santa Monica Pier and ride the rides. They go to Tiki T and they get Ooga Boogas. Like it's a fun little LA nighttime adventure, right?
And I would have rather been doing those things without them.
All right. So Hurry Up Tomorrow is in theaters. If you're going to see it, let us know.